guys, we're here to fight. I don't know what you guys, but I'm a fighter.
Right to council. We want right to council. We want right to council.
With 92,000 New Yorkers experiencing displacement. I mean, it's almost 100,000 people who right now don't know if they're gonna, preserve their homes, where they're gonna go, where they're gonna be able to pay rent. So to me, that's very distressing. Landlords are actively trying to evict 270,000 tenants. 270,000 tenants are at risk of eviction right now. And I bet that the majority of them don't have the financial means to retain an attorney.
Every day we have seen people who served and struggled to stay in their home. So many people were put in an economic precarious position because of the pandemic. And there is now over 270,000 New Yorkers facing active eviction across the state. Let me repeat that. There is 270,000 New Yorkers facing active eviction across the state.
Come on now.
That ain't right.
Meanwhile, all the landlords have lawyers in eviction cases, while most tenants do not. This creates a powerful imbalance in the courts that favors landlords.
I need you to come make the repairs in my apartment. I've been in my apartment for almost 3 years without a refrigerator. They came and they did some patch up work. I don't need patched up work. I deserve a paint job, I deserve appliances, and I deserve when you come to fix this stuff, you don't put a Band-Aid on it. Let's do surgery.
We also must be mindful of the impact that evictions have on children and families. When you think about it, when a family is being evicted, they're being removed from their community. Their children are being moved from their school systems. They're being removed from the communities they know, they love, that they're growing in, they're building their confidence in. And the pandemic, we've seen the impact of the pandemic, and we can no longer allow our families to go without representation. We can no longer allow our children to face these hardships that their families go through, not fully knowing what's going on, but just knowing that now we have to change our school district. Now we have to make new friends. Now I have to encounter new teachers or get new services, but I'm comfortable here. Mom or Dad, why do we have to leave? Why can we not be represented in our courts? Why are we not being given a fair opportunity to prosper, to build back into our communities, to show up for one another? Why are we ripping that opportunity away from many families and children? I stand here today advocating for all children in Westchester County and their families because we know the impact that eviction has on these families, and we must make it very clear that we will no longer allow families to go into court without the right to counsel. We need the representation. It is clear, it is beneficial. We see the numbers, and we also know that there's a story behind every single number. So even if you only know one story, that's one too many still. That's, if you know 2 stories, that's still too many. And we need to advocate for a change. We need a change here in Westchester County. We are calling on our elected officials to make that change, to hear our voices, to stand with us. Our children are calling on us. Our children are the future.
That due process does not apply to the most basic of human needs. The emotional trauma of losing one's home must apply here. The emotional trauma of going through a whirlwind experience of just a few minutes while the ground under your feet is ripped away from you and your children. The fact that in New York City since 2017, after passing a right to counsel legislation, 86% of tenants who had attorneys through the program won their case and were able to stay in their homes.
That's right.
Because lawyers are necessary to demonstrate to our judges that often tenants have a legal right to stay in their homes and that often landlords do not have the right to evict their tenants. This is a racial justice issue. This is a moral issue. This is a human issue. So let's support these bills. Let's give people the right to an attorney in the state of New York, and let's support a second bill which further helps tenants by making it illegal for them to be evicted during the coldest months of the year. Because it is dangerous to evict someone or a family during that time, especially with the effects of climate change, and because we are all still reeling from what COVID has done to our bodies and to our economy.
I got into this group, but I represent CASA. We do a lot of work in the Bronx around community organizing and tenants' rights, et cetera. And part of what we do is we go to do court watches where we sit in court and watch the atrocities that are committed every day. And one case that I'd like to speak to you in particular is a woman who came in with 5 children, and she had already been evicted. She was speaking to the landlord's attorney and signed over a stipulation saying that she would pay the rent, which she did not have the money to pay. Luckily, we were able to speak to her and give her the information that she has the right to an attorney, and she actually did end up getting an attorney to see her that day. So that's just part of the work that CASA does and part of what right to counsel means to some of the most vulnerable New Yorkers. And so this is why we need right to counsel fully funded.
Counsel. We want right to counsel. We want right to counsel. We want right to counsel.
Slumlords, you got to go. Slumlords have got to go.